Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.
This week we're talking about two episodes, Surprise and Innocence.
Surprise, it's Buffy's 17th birthday.
And surprise, things aren't going to go well.
Oh, come on! It's Sunnydale, over top of the Hellmouth. Every day is all happy sunshine and rainbows. How can it ever be bad?
Alright, so let's start off with the episode originally aired. These episodes originally aired January 19th and January 20th of 1998.
Okay.
So the idea was Buffy was on Mondays, they were moving Buffy to Tuesdays to lead into Dawson's Creek. So they had a 2-episode arc planned out. Big advertising campaign because they could use Buffy to help launch Dawson's Creek, which was premiering directly after it on the 20th.
Okay.
How familiar are you with Dawson's Creek?
Not at all.
I know it was supposedly a thing. I don't understand how much of a thing.
It was a show that was on at that time.
Yeah, so it was premiering at this time, and it would become one of the WB's kind of like signature series, along with like Buffy and Seventh Heaven and a few other things.
Wow.
So it's kind of a big deal for when it was on the air.
Yeah.
These episodes, so Surprise pulled in 7.6 million viewers, and Innocence pulled in 7.9, which is by far the highest to date. The WB really put a big marketing push behind these episodes. I mean, they're crappy episodes, but... I'm joking. They're both fantastic.
Surprise!
Alright, so let's get into the plot. We start with Buffy having a vivid dream where a very undead Drusilla manages to dust Angel, which she fears is prophetic.
Well, there's a few odd things going on in that dream as well, like
a tremendous amount
those
of
huge
things.
cups. That was a thing.
Yes, that was a thing.
Yeah.
It was.
In like coffee shops in the 90s and early 2000s, that was a thing.
Okay.
Very true.
Oh, just seemed out of place though.
There are the other points behind them, but I think we'll get to that when we get more into the discussion.
Then Buffy's mother dropping the plate under the cup. Significant.
It is. Willow remembers why she can't go on a date with Oz and invites him instead to the surprise party the Scoobies are throwing for Buffy's 17th birthday.
Yes.
Elsewhere, Drew, strong as Buffy dreamed, arranges her own gala event, while Spike, confined to a wheelchair, but quite undead as well, directs his gang to collect scattered pieces of the demon Judge to reassemble for Drew's present.
Judge, you know the next villain, right? The next big villain?
Yep.
Dun, dun,
Totally.
dun.
He's clearly going to be the big bad for the season. The Scoobies deduce the plot when Buffy and Jenny Calendar intercept one of the pieces. Following secret gypsy orders to separate Angel from the Slayer, Jenny encourages Angel on his mission to prevent the dire consequences of reassembly. He must take the Judge's arm by cargo ship to the most remote region possible, while Angel gives Buffy a ring for her birthday, which we'll get into later, because that ring's actually significant. During their tearful parting at the dock, Spike's vamps manage to steal the arm back, destroying their mission. Later at the library, Buffy has another informative dream and takes Angel to investigate the factory where Spike and Drew have their lair. They narrowly escape the now assembled and activated Judge, then return to Angel's apartment exhausted and drenched, still suffering from excessive threats of losing one another. Buffy and Angel confess feelings each has been trying to suppress. They sleep together for the first time and fall asleep in each other's arms. Suddenly, a flash of lightning and a crash of thunder. Angel bolts awake and runs into the storm, calling Buffy's name in anguish. And credits roll.
Oh dear.
For the first episode.
Oh dear, a thing happened.
So, I think we should talk about the first episode, and then I'll go over what happens in the second.
Yeah, go from there.
Yeah.
What did you all think of Surprise?
Well, the first thing was starting up the episode, and it ran through the dream sequence. I stopped for a sec, since I'm not exactly an episode or expert on dreams or any sort of thing like that, but I ran through it again just to pick up a couple particular points that needed to be brought up. The first interesting thing was bringing up those coffee cups that were brought up within the dream. And the fact that one of those cups had a red spoon in it. an interesting little thing to keep in mind. But again, the biggest and most important thing is the fear that Angel's going to be gone in some sort of sense, and the plate dropping and something breaking.
Yeah, so obviously the most obvious thing that happens here is so Buffy seemingly wakes up and then goes down and like walks into the bronze that's like now in her house because it's a dream.
Yeah.
And she sees Joyce there, and Joyce looks at her and just says, "Do you think you're ready, Buffy?" And like that line is really important because it kind of has a double meaning in this.
Yeah, so true.
It's really great. And then we see Angel get staked by Drew. Did you notice what Drew and Buffy were wearing?
I didn't.
In the first one with Drew, it was kind of... Or no, with Buffy, it was still her pajamas. I think in that sort of case. With Drew... No, in that case, I can't remember specifically within the...
So in the first one, Buffy is still in her pajamas. The second time we do this flashback, they're both wearing the same dress.
Oh.
Huh.
No, I did notice that with Buffy. I did not notice that with Drew, though.
Yeah, you don't get a great shot of Drew in some of these, like in the sequence, but it is the same thing.
But the additional thing I loved about the dream sequence was there's an appearance from Willow and a monkey.
Yes, and do you know what she says in French?
No, sadly I did not know. I was concerned, like, is that gibberish or was that a different language?
No, she actually does speak French, and she says something... It's a callback to Oz mentioning about how all monkeys are French.
Oh, okay.
There's some reference there, like, why don't you have your pants or something?
Right, with the monkeys being able to wear clothes, but why the heck don't they wear pants?
Yeah, it's a callback to that. I don't remember exactly what
That's
it is.
amazing, actually.
Nice. Yeah, it's a really cool little thing.
Oh, that's really nice with that, because I sort of thought of it, it's like, there's Willow there. Why is there a monkey? I really hope it's not a case of what she thinks of Xander.
I mean...
It wouldn't be true.
It wouldn't be far off.
Yeah.
So Buffy goes to visit Angel, and considering that the Slayer is meant to have prophetic dreams, this actually isn't crazy. Like, we've seen Buffy have dreams that have come true before. So it does make sense. And then... I forget if it's Angel or Buffy who says that they didn't find Drusilla's body, and I'm like, but she a vampire. If she were dead, there wouldn't be a body. She'd be dusted.
Yeah,
she'd be dust.
Are you gonna sift the sand for her
yes,
remains or something?
I want CSI Buffy.
Comb the desert.
And then it's not the first time we get it, but we get, it kind of is. We get a version of the Angel Buffy love theme, but in this episode, sometimes they slow it down.
Okay.
So the notes are a lot more spaced out, and it's just, god damn it. It's so good.
Okay.
And then Angel says, "You still haven't told me what you want for your Buffy birthday." And then Buffy just looks at him and says, "Surprise me."
Yes. It's like,
I wonder if that'll be important later.
Oh man. Foreshadowing for things supposedly to come.
Okay. So Oz is in the courtyard at the high school, and Buffy and Willow are walking by, and Willow says something about, like, "Oh, I don't know if I should date Oz because he's older, he's a senior." And Buffy's like, "My boyfriend had a bicentennial."
Yeah.
Which is a great line.
You have a point.
So, before that, there's a bit of girl talk between Buffy and Willow. Oh my gosh, hung out with Angel, all that sort of particular thing. When Buffy brings up the idea of wanting to be with Angel and all those particular things, it's like, gave the particular thought of, interesting, the idea of want, of people having that sort of thing, in comparison to demons where they have a specific thought and they go on it.
Yeah, that's like, so the show is very much built on two major concepts. And if you actually watch the commentary track, I don't remember if it's on Surprise or Innocence, Joss Whedon says, like, the entire thought behind the show is rocket launchers and emotional resonance. It's action and making people care about the action. That's very much kind of like the thought that goes into the show.
And then, of course, the wonderful phrase of the day, the carpe diem. Seize that day.
Bufffish?
I just love that. Okay, Oz and Willow are just too adorable in this scene. Where they're
so
talking. True. He's like, I'm going to ask you out. And she's like, oh, well, if it helps, if it makes you feel better, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, yes.
It's adorable.
Well, yes, that chemistry works. Hooray.
They're so fun together. It's great.
Pretty much my one particular thought about it was, before everything was kind of confirmed with it, it's like, God damn it, Willow, you just got to Shia LaBeouf it. Do it! Do it!
The other thing that really concerns me is that Seth Green is only guest starring as Oz.
Yes, he is not officially a part of the cast.
That worries me, because it's gonna go like Star Trek here.
Yeah.
Well, let me put your fears at ease for a while. He will officially join the cast I think it might be in season 3.
Yay!
He will get like a full-on credit sequence spot.
Oh, okay then.
Of course, it is possibly going to be only for a time, since I know he did stick with the series for too long.
Now, in all fairness, this could just be where Joss Whedon fucks with you and kills him the first time he's in the credits. But so Buffy gets taken to her surprise party and ends up dusting a vamp in front of Oz, officially bringing him into the Scooby Gang.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Because it's kind of... Yeah, I love how Xander's like, vampires are real. Yeah, and Oz is just like, that actually makes a lot of sense. I love how he just accepts it right away. He's like, yeah, okay. I'm in.
Things gotta make a little more sense now.
Particular things. So, particular thing... The first sort of thought on this is Xander. Oh, hi, Xander. He's part of the Scooby Gang, and in some cases it's alright, but in other cases, God damn it, Xander, you are a jerk. In most sort of cases, spending too much bloody time with Cordelia. But yeah, that's still kind of a thing, and going on with stuff. And brings up the idea of Idiot Ted, the other supposed personality that's in his head. So now Xander's going to be doing something stupid. It's like, God damn it, Ted. What are you doing to Xander?
So, I want to talk about the ring that Angel gives to Buffy.
Ah, yes.
So,
that important thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of cool little facts about this ring. First, it's based on an actual ring. It's an actual, we don't know this yet.
Ring sort of design.
Yes, and it is Irish in origin, which is a bit of a spoiler, but where Angel is going to be revealed to be from.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me too much from its look.
The other thing is, if you pay close attention, you can see Angel wearing this ring as far back as School Hard.
Oh. Okay.
Well, it's hard to tell if it's the exact same ring, but you can see something on his finger that looks very similar.
Ooh, that's interesting to the...
second pair or something? To the ring?
I don't.
Well, that's interesting because of the particular things about the ring that were explained in this episode.
Yeah.
With the 3, I count them as 3 symbols that the ring shows of a pair of hands holding a heart with a crown on top of it. Yeah. And the other particular point that if the ring is faced towards you, it means you have, I believe, you're connected to someone, or you have a love for someone.
Yeah.
So it leaves me interested of what way that ring was facing on Angel
remember.
With any sort of face like that. But yeah, the fact that hands represent a friend or someone of care, the loyalty, and of course the heart meaning love.
Yeah. And you can clearly see the ring in, I can't remember what the name of the episode is, but the one where Angel's in Buffy's room and he's holding the teddy bear. You can clearly see it on his hand there.
I see.
So he's at least guaranteed to have had it for close to half a season.
Okay. So for those eagle-eyed viewers...
It's a subtle little thing that if you're really, really paying attention on your crappy standard definition TV in 1998, you might have picked up.
Yeah,
and you knew about Irish pixels. And if you knew about like traditional Irish jewelry.
So, 2 particular things I'm not sure was mentioned. One definitely wasn't, but really, Xander, birthday spanks, even as a joke, that is completely weak. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, well, it's Xander.
So true. But then the other particular thing, you've mentioned this a couple times to us, but I'm not sure if we asked you about it. What is the reason for why Spike is in a wheelchair? Aside from the fact to emphasize, yeah, he's been injured from the whole sort of case
It's just
thing.
because he was injured in the thing.
Okay. Because
His legs haven't recovered, I guess.
It's just a way to remind you that he was in that and to sell the injury.
And sort of a change up from Drusilla just kind of being tired and wispy.
Yeah, and like that's the other thing, is like they're doing the role reversal.
No.
Whereas now Drusilla's the strong one and Spike is the one that has to be taken care of.
And oh boy, Drusilla, as the strong leader sort of case of it, she does not lose the crazy act, but it just makes it about 3 times more creepy.
Oh, she's so much scarier now because she isn't because she's at full strength.
Mm-hmm.
She's fucking crazy, and she's also a badass.
The
So is that everything you want to talk about with this episode?
the introduction of the gypsy sort of curse for this
Oh,
episode.
fuck.
It made me think, there was something up with Jenny throughout this episode. I'm thinking, will she end up being a bad guy this No, this wasn't going to be the case terribly, but there was something up with her for sure.
Yeah, we meet Uncle Stereotype Gypsy in this episode.
Wah!
Yeah.
Yes.
And he tells Jenny that you can't let Angel be happy. Well, he doesn't say the word happy.
Vengeance.
Yes, vengeance is brought up.
Oh,
And
the vengeance.
We'll get into that a little later. Anything else from this episode?
Let's
I think we
see.
covered most of things on this episode, generally.
Yeah.
Other than the terrible surprise.
Well-
Oh, yeah, by the way, surprise birthday.
Yes. So, the episode ends with Angel kind of just falling in a heap in the back alley in the rain, screaming for Buffy while she's asleep.
It's kind of a case of, oh dear goodness, something terrible happened after this wonderful caring moment of both of them being together and finally having that lovely moment together. What could be wrong? You won't be able to find out until that next episode. You better come back!
Well, and it's a hell of a cliffhanger.
No, definitely.
is.
It's a good way to pull people back.
It's but wait, what happened here? Basically, you asked that question.
And also, part of it is we haven't really, up to this point, had the curse explained.
Mm-hmm.
We just know that he was cursed by gypsies.
Yes.
They haven't gone out of their way to fully explain the curse. And that's, in a way, kind of a problem. Because why the fuck didn't anybody explain to Angel how his curse worked?
Well, there's
Or
that.
who knew about the curse? And
No,
so
that sort of particular
Jenny,
stuff.
in this calendar.
Well, Angel knew that he was cursed by gypsies. But apparently nobody explained to him how the fucking curse worked. Because if he knew, he wouldn't have taken the risk.
Well, there's
Because Angel
that.
isn't stupid.
Well, there's also that, but there's also the case of, well, I'll maybe save that for the next part of the episode when the curse does kind of get explained to it. But one particular thing within this was quickly going back to the second dream when it came up. When Buffy comes out in the dress, isn't that the same dress she wore when she first fought the Master?
I don't know. I wasn't paying that close of attention.
I was kind of like, that's relatively close. I'm not sure if it's the same design, but if they're drawing that parallel, oh man, some shit's gonna be going down.
I don't think it is, but it very well could be.
Nah, but that's sort of my thought on things. But mostly after that, I was kind of like, oh no, thing is happening. What's happening to Angel? Oh dear God!
Alrighty, so we start off Innocence.
Angel gets up. He's okay. And,
Angel is in the alley
Yeah.
with a piercing pain in his heart, clearly in despair. He gets up slowly when I don't know how to refer to her.
Back alley lady.
Yeah.
a kind passerby lady.
Sure, who's smoking, comes over to see if he needs help. Angel gets up, bites her, and gleefully kills her, and expels the smoke from her cigarette out of his mouth. I don't know how that works. And somehow he manages to not have any blood on his face after biting her.
Well, it has been a while, and as it kind of is, someone's back. It's not Angel, though. And Jealous, I think, is a bit more accurate.
We now have Angelus. Angel's curse has been lifted. But why?
We're not sure! But everything's all bad and
When he
horrible.
shows
It's like,
up at the
okay, goodness.
factory, Spike is surprised, and Drusilla is pleased that the judge cannot burn him, because the judge can only burn people with goodness in them.
Yes. Well, goodness, or how I
Humanity.
supposedly take it
Humanity.
is kind of humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angel has truly reverted to the evil Angelus. While researching a way to defeat the Judge, a demon whom no weapon forged, that's a very important word,
Yes,
can harm.
indeed.
Xander and Cordelia get caught kissing in the library by a crushed and furious Willow. In one of the most heartbreaking scenes we've had so far.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
Xander hatches a plan using memories from being a soldier on Halloween, during the execution of which Oz declines to make out with Willow, choosing to wait until she is less distraught. Buffy has another dream and confronts Jenny, who admits she is a member of the Gypsy clan that cursed Angelus so long ago. Tracking down the Judge at a crowded mall, Buffy and her team blow him to bits with Xander's stolen rocket launcher. Which is just so bloody good.
No weapon forged can harm me.
What does that do?
Boom.
Well, Angelus and Drusilla nearly escape the blast. The Slayer stalks Angelus to the fleeing crowd, and when he ambushes her in a snack shop, they battle furiously under the drenching fire control sprinklers. Reaching a standoff, neither of them quite willing to kill the other. Buffy has a stake in her hand, but elects to just kick Angel in the balls before telling him, I can't kill you now, but give me time.
Yes, all those particular things.
How did they manage to get the rocket launcher in the mall?
Because Xander stole it from the...
Yeah, I
army
know,
base.
but how did they manage to get it
They
in?
just carried it in.
It was in a box, and it was closed. And
Where were the cops
people were
to arrest them for, firing a rocket launcher in a mall?
I was more so surprised that there weren't a whole bunch of mall cops or other sort of people around from all the fleeing people after they kind of had that incident with
The Judge could have killed them
coming in.
earlier.
Yeah, possibly.
Sure, I mean, yeah, they saved lives by, getting rid of the Judge rather swiftly, but,
Also, I'd have to say, Resident Evil or Biohazard would be so proud of Buffy, following the tradition of blowing up the big evil monster with a rocket launcher.
well, yeah. Obviously.
Okay, so I want to talk... I didn't take a whole lot of notes on this episode because I just have kind of like a big thing at the end that I want to go over.
Right.
But the moment between Xander and Cordelia where their relationship is revealed to Willow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell.
Now it kind of works. It's like the instant it go to the pan shot of both of them kissing, but it had a little bit in the background. It's like, Willow's going to see that, isn't it?
It's so well shot.
Back up, that there's Willow just distraught. It's like, oh, you guys are doing this now. This is just perfect. Add on to the bad times file.
Well, of course.
The best thing about that is what Willow does after everything is done and Xander catches up to her. Where Willow is not Willow at that particular point. She is
a fucking great line, though.
She's a person and goes up to Xander. It's like, well, I can't remember the line exactly, but she tells Xander off.
Are you talking about, like, right when she runs out of the library or later?
Right after she runs out of the library to start, as well as later.
She has, like, one of the best lines in that scene where she's like, Xander's like, oh, it wasn't a big deal. And she's like, no, it means you'd rather be with someone you hate than me.
Yeah, that line. Yeah.
So fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
That line, indeed.
It's just very telling of both the situation between that.
It's so fucking good. Okay, so the scene, then we get, like, 2 fucking punches to the soul in a row, basically. Because then we cut to Buffy going to Angel's apartment.
Oh, boy.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yep.
And this scene is just fucking shattering.
No, definitely with the first time.
Oh my god. Okay, so basically, Buffy goes to find out what's going on with Angel because he's disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
Angel shows up in his apartment, and when Buffy walks in, you hear a few notes of the Buffy Angel love theme.
Oh,
just to give you a little bit of hope that everything will be okay. And then, right to the soul.
Well, I think there's a little bit of delay, but as soon as Angel starts sort of speaking as Angelus and kind of making light of the situation, it's like, Buffy, better get yourself prepared. It's not Angel you're talking to.
Yeah.
She doesn't know that per se.
No, not yet. I mean, I think she kind of is starting to figure it out in this scene.
It's...
But
she's starting to get it, but she's still kind of in denial of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
mean,
pretty
it's
fucking horrific.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to go through. I mean, you just kind of... Well, I don't know if they either made out or just slept together, but, you know... They were together, basically, and then all of a sudden they're not, because... he's being kind of an asshole for seemingly no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a couple of lines that are just like, holy fuck. He says at one point, what's his line? Oh no, you were really good. I thought you were a pro. Like, just fucking called her a whore. Like, legitimate. Like, holy fuck.
You kind of get a taste of what Drusilla went through before she became a vampire.
That's like the whole point. Is like, the whole point of this is to be like, oh, Angel's gonna fuck with, or Angelus is just gonna fuck with Buffy for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Like, that's his goal, is just to destroy her life.
It's like, you kind of gotten a taste of things, what Spike can do. This is who he learned it from.
But Spike isn't like this. Like, Spike doesn't go out of his way to, like, ruin people before he kills them.
True,
Just toys with them a little bit, not like...
No, Angelus is far worse, because Angelus will, like, kill your entire family and make you watch.
Yeah. The torture of everything that sort of Angelus does. It's just, oh boy. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. So there's the scene with the gypsies. And it's kind of a case of, you must keep the vengeance going. All this particular stuff, it's like, why is this so bloody important? If Angel experiences happiness for even a second, he loses his soul and Angelus comes back.
One moment of pure happiness.
And then she's like, fuck.
Yes. So, Willow decides to come back and rejoin the Scoobies in a scene with Xander.
Yes.
Where she's like, things aren't okay with us, but shit's gotta be done.
The nice bit that I sort of wrote, it's good to see emotion isn't clouding the situation of importance.
Yeah, no, Willow is like really level-headed. Mm-hmm. Like, she's like, look, we're not cool, but we gotta deal with the fucking judge.
Yeah.
And Angelus and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And then Xander just has a great idea, but interrupted by Angelus.
Oh, it's such a good... It's like, I think I'm having a thought.
Oh,
now
God.
I think I'm having a plan.
Oh, dear God, everyone get under the tables.
Oh, no.
Okay, so Buffy shows up as Angelus has Willow by the throat. Mm-hmm. And he kind of like throws Willow into Xander because he gets the cross and all that. And then he runs out and grabs Buffy and he kisses her and pushes her away and says, things are about to get very interesting.
Mm.
And then she has this like 1,000-yard stare, and it's just like,
So,
and then Willow asks one of the most important questions of Jenny. How did you know?
Yes.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Kind of bringing the thought of, wait, how did you know that Angel was bad?
Which it reveals to the characters that Jenny is part of this gypsy.
Partly. I think it's more so after Buffy has a mild prophetic dream of Jenny has some supposed importance and goes on that instinct rather quickly, breaking into her classroom while class is in session and getting her into a chokehold before Giles stops her. It's like, yeah, Buffy is not in the mood for any shit at the moment.
Yeah. So Buffy has the scene where she's taking off the ring Angel gave her.
Oh, and that just destroys her.
Oh, it's such a well-shot scene. And there's no, like, it's so good because it's like she doesn't have to say anything.
No.
It's all in her performance.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Xander has one of my favorite lines when he goes to the army base with Cordelia.
Yeah.
And she's like, do looking at guns really make girls want to have sex? Does it make you want to have sex? And he's like, I'm 17. Looking at linoleum makes me want to have sex. And I'm like, Xander is the best sometimes.
So, particular thing about that, oh man, this show does not know how to portray those sorts of particular people, but I don't think a lot of TV shows particularly do. But yeah, that person's not going to be in the military for long. No. But as it sort of is, it needed to be done, and mostly it was kind of a case of, wow, that terrible Halloween event that happened with things actually had some additional use. Interesting.
Yeah, apparently had more importance.
Yeah, Xander still remembers all of his, like, the military training that he never went through.
That's amazing.
But apparently he could assemble an M16 in 57 seconds.
Huh.
He specifically says that, and he knows access codes. That seems problematic to me.
Just a teeny little bit. So, man, that one scene with Willow and Oz was definitely interesting to see. Because firstly, yay, supposed chance for getting together, but Oz stops Willow.
It's so good.
Because, yes, she wants to get to him, but I'm not sure if Oz sort of knows from her tone, but it's good that he brought up the fact, I want to be with you, but I don't want to be with you because of selfish reasons.
The interesting thing here is this is basically the exact same thing that Willow said to Xander in season 1.
Ah, true.
It's pretty much, like, not word for word, but it's the same idea. And it's just like, Oz is just so fantastic about the way that technically he rejects her.
He's good
but
at
he does
reading the situation. I
Yeah,
guess.
but he does it in such a way that it's just like, it's so charming. And
Not
just
true.
so awesome. Like, Oz is just fantastic.
Yes.
Indeed.
And then we go to the scene where Jenny Calendar... Is he like her uncle? I think he's meant to be like an uncle or something.
uncle, I believe.
And he's been murdered by Angelus.
Yeah, figures that it's Buffy and everyone else coming to get some answers. No, it turns out to be Angelus going to fix some loose ends.
And leaving a little message, you know.
Was it good for you too? That fucking creepy. He writes it on blood on the wall. Oh my god. I love when they go to the mall and, like, there's the judge and he's, like, zapping all these people, and then Buffy pulls out the rocket launcher after she shoots him with the bow and arrow, or the crossbow.
Crossbow, yeah.
It's like, what's that do?
Here, let me show you. Boop. Kaboosh.
And then we get a Buffy-Angel fight where Buffy kicks Angel into the balls,
Yeah.
but can't stake him.
Nah.
But it's a pretty awesome moment.
Yeah, definitely. I was sadly wildly distracted because it was in the entrance of a movie theater where they were supposedly playing Quest for Camelot. It's like, I'm not sure if this was just a advertisement for that movie or they just needed to do it in a theater. They didn't have a time to cover up all the posters or covering them with different posters.
I don't know. Okay. So the moment where Giles drives Buffy home.
Yeah.
And they're parked outside, and this is kind of the moment where Giles really becomes Buffy's de facto father. Because, like, he's not obviously biologically her father, but he really fully assumes the role of being her dad at this point.
Yeah.
It's been hinted at up to now, but now it's kind of really stated. Mm-hmm. And it's a fantastic scene.
Yeah, so true. It's very tough with all this stuff there. And
yeah, and, like, Buffy has some, like, she's like, you know, it's all my fault, and he's like, no, it's not. There's no way you could have fucking known. If you're looking for a guilt trip, go fucking somewhere else. Mm-hmm. It's a great moment between those two. Mm-hmm. And then the episode ends with Buffy and her mom sitting on the couch, eating cupcakes, and watching an old movie.
They didn't really eat the cupcakes.
Well,
she just kind of let the candle burn on the cupcake.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't really
Just
feel like
burn.
making that wish on the red candle.
Yep.
In the cupcakes.
Yep. So, what did you all think of Innocence?
Whew. Oh.
Decent amount of emotion and action. It was pretty good.
Fair warning. This isn't the worst it's gonna get.
Worst?
Like, in terms of punch to the soul emotion.
Well, no. I mean, there was a little bit, but I mean, I didn't feel it as much because I probably didn't really care for Buffy and Angel's relationship that much.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is this episode probably is a lot more impactful the younger you are. I think if you're 16 and you watch it, this is going to have a lot more impact.
It's like, oh my god, he's not with the one she wants to be with and he's turned evil. Why?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, really.
Well, and like, I mean, the show is also aimed at like 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, let's not lie about it.
More so, yeah.
But yeah, I definitely understand. Like, this. I'm just gonna warn you. It's not gonna always be roses and happiness.
I don't think it ever really was completely roses and happiness.
I mean,
dude, we're sitting over top of the Hellmouth in Sunnydale. It's not gonna be all super
sure,
sunny.
You'll have your moments of, happiness-ish.
But
I mean, the show has never gone to
this extent.
It's never pushed this hard. Like the first season especially is very kind of just like fun.
It's your average, superhero-esque type of shenanigans where, the
whereas
hero comes out on top in the end.
Here they're very much pushing, like, we're going to destroy Buffy as a person.
I mean, maybe the hero will still come out on top in the end of this one, but with some great losses here and there.
And, like, we're going to tear her down before we rebuild her.
Which is an interesting sort of thought, I thought, with watching both of these episodes. One particular person that I listen to and discuss with watches other TV shows and cartoons, and this particular person does not like it when they change the style from something fun, happy, and exciting and give this sort of drama or other sorts of stuff there. And I can somewhat agree with certain cartoons and whatnot that he's watched, but watching this drama, it sort of leaves me thinking, I wonder if other sorts of people have this sort of concern, or if they did stick with that, if it would eventually die out or need something to kind of really push the plot forward. And in this sort of case, I can understand it a bit more with it being more live action, showing a bit more of the drama with everything, as well as what this show was supposedly bringing and supposedly competing with its other time slots at the time.
I'd say this is probably just a way that'll definitely push the plot to move a lot forward. Really.
Well, and, like, at a certain point, like, if this show maintained the same tone and style that it had in Season 1, it would die off in 2 or 3 years. Because you can't, like, Season 1 is good in parts, but there's only so many Monster of the Week episodes you can do. Whereas here, they're able to tell stories that have more of an emotional resonance with the audience.
So true. So the other interesting thing about that was the dream finally concluded with everything that happened.
Well, except for Angel just getting completely dusted.
Well, Angel is gone.
Angel is dead.
Angel is gone. But I mean, like, he's not dusted, but he's gone.
Nah.
Yeah, Angel is dead and Jealous lives.
Yeah.
But I think the interesting thing was the point I made about that red spoon inside of the coffee cup in the first dream. The cupcake had a red candle for Buffy's birthday.
It's a loose connection, I would call it.
If I actually did some research, I'm pretty sure that there would most likely be a meaning behind some particular thing that's red. Sadly, there's only one particular thing I remember about particular dream stuff, and it's not exactly PG. They probably not immediately toss it within this show.
Well, and a lot of dream interpretation is kind of nonsense.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
There's virtually, there's no good scientific basis for any of it.
It is dreams. It's kind of weird
or
to go
like,
on those sorts of
Will
things.
randomly speaking French. And,
Meh.
I love that you randomly started speaking French. That's great.
Well, I'm
The
not too
monkey.
surprised with that. It happens. The one particular thing that also came up within this episode was the uncle's discussion of vengeance.
Yes, we're not interested in justice. This is vengeance.
With that sort of stuff. And it was, when it first sort of came up, it was kind of my question of, is vengeance really a good thing to hang on to, or is it a different thing from what he sort of said? Because on the one hand, it was vengeance for who, I think, was the biggest thing. Because it's technically for the gypsies, because Angelus wouldn't have cared in any sort of way if he was sort of kept in as himself and forced to sort of go through that. Giving him a human soul and having him go through, hey, you did all this shit, you need to fucking suffer, would cause Angel to suffer, which, for the gypsies, is kind of within their best interests. Where it would have been best if they could have just eliminated Angelus in some sort of way.
So, the thing Okay, so the way that the show presents Angel and Angelus is very much as two distinct characters.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Spike, we'll see later on, Spike as a vampire and Spike as a person, they're kind of similar.
There wasn't too much of a difference.
No, they very much present Angel and Angelus as separate people.
Mm.
The problem, I don't want to say problem, that's not the right word, but I guess, for lack of a better word, we'll go with issue, is when the gypsies curse Angelus, they're not really punishing Angelus. They're punishing the person that Angel was before he became a vampire.
Mm.
Because when you become a vampire, most of the time, you're a victim.
Mm.
Right? Like, you don't choose... Most people in the series will not choose to become vampires.
Oh, okay.
That's always kind of like this weird thing with that curse, is it's kind of like, you're not really... It's this weird thing because, like, Angel specifically says, when you become a vampire, a demon takes over your body, but it doesn't get your soul.
Mm.
And that's meant to be the essence of who you are and your
being.
Yeah, and, like, your conscience and all of that kind of... Mm-hmm. So, forcing that back in makes him who he was before, just with the vampire weaknesses.
Ah, yeah.
Mm.
So, why don't we talk about some international titles for these episodes?
Oh, dear.
So Finnish, it's just, for the first episode we'll do Finnish, nothing terribly interesting, it's just surprise. In French, it's Innocence Part 1.
Ah.
In German, The Curse of the Gypsies.
I suppose.
Kind of on the nose, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as... I think Surprise is a great title. So for music, there's 2 songs in this. Sean Clement and Sean Murphy featuring Carrie Howe? I don't know. Howe. There's a song called Anything that plays during Buffy's dream.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rasputina, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. Transylvanian Concubine plays as Drusilla dances at their party.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So those are the 2 main songs that aren't created specifically for the show.
Nothing.
And then Innocence. In French, the international title, Innocence Part 2. Finnish fucking hits the fucking ball out of the park here. Angel or Demon.
Oh,
nice.
German gives it a run for its money. I might actually like this title a little better. In German, it translates as The Fallen Angel.
But
That's pretty bloody good.
no.
And for music for the Innocence, Alice Faye, Goodnight My Love, which is a song from the movie they were watching,
Yep.
plays as Buffy and her mom watch the movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, again, they're seemingly saving their money for one song later in the season. That's going to cost them probably a lot of money.
Okay.
So a bigger name music
Mm-hmm.
number.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of like any big name music numbers in the late 90s.
Let's just say the final scene of the season, they're going to spend a lot of money for that song. But I would argue it's well worth it.
Nah.
So, what did you guys think of these episodes?
Gut punching, horribly terrible, or horribly emotionally draining in most senses. Thankfully, the judge being blown up by a rocket launcher definitely helped bring a little bit of levity and concern of, yay, we don't have to deal with a person that can literally turn somebody into a pile of ash by staring at them.
Yeah, it's very smart in that it gives the audience that moment of catharsis.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just kind of like, bleh, everything kind of, we dealt with this, but...
We still have a lot of shit. But
This to deal with here.
Yeah, but it gives you that just like big explosion, cathartic moment to just kind of send the audience home happy at least a little bit.
nah. Things are bad. They could have been worse, but they're still not super great.
Well, and it's still like Buffy's still a hero.
Yeah, definitely. Well, in most people's senses, I'm pretty sure a lot of people at the mall were probably thinking they were some crazed gunmen.
Well,
With a rocket launcher.
so Justin, what did you think?
Really good. I'd say this helps basically move this series forward, going into like whatever's coming next. I'm sure. I mean, I'm not quite sure 100% what's coming soon, but I can only take a few guesses, really.
So where do you think they are going? If you had to guess.
I don't know, the apocalypse?
Well,
Eventually.
well, yeah, but that's like every other Tuesday.
Yeah, the Hellmouth.
In the hell no.
They're gonna make it. I'm gonna say that there's a good joke that comes up in a couple of years.
I mean, there's definitely going to be several more gut-punching moments from, you hammering that in.
Oh, you
But,
have no idea.
Nah.
Be interesting to see how things play out, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. David, did you have anything else to add about your thoughts on this episode?
Scaling wise, these guys get 9s. 9s across the board.
Okay. Justin, do you have a score?
Yeah, sure. I'd probably give these 10s. They were
Okay.
really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there may be better episodes, or there may not be, but I mean, these are definitely still high up there.
These
high with
would
10.
would definitely make. If I were to combine these as one episode, it would definitely be in my top 10 list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
These are arguably the first truly great episodes. Where it's kind of elevating itself above standard genre television, which is kind of where it has been. It's been good genre television, but here it's kind of really pushing itself to be more than that. And to be more emotionally resonant.
Mm-hmm.
These are fantastic episodes.
Wow.
This is really establishing Buffy as a cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
And as one of arguably the most important television series to come out of the 90s. The show is revolutionary in its presentation and in the way it tells stories. And this is kind of the first hint of what's to come. So do either of you have any last minute thoughts to add?
Currently, not from me, no.
Nah, as it is, I think it's just kind of somewhat trying to keep the party going. Pretty much the exact scene of what Cordelia did when Buffy came in and staked the vampire.
Surprise!
Surprise!
So, do you have any questions for me after these episodes?
Nah, I think as it is, there's nothing particular within my mind. I think it's just kind of a case of how everybody's going to kind of recover from all this stuff going on. And
I think, for the most part, I would just rather not be terribly spoiled with anything. I'd rather go in with a more open mind as to, like, what may or may not happen without asking too many questions.
Fair enough. So next week we will be talking about an episode called Phases. This is going to be the first appearance of a werewolf.
typical monster werewolf, little puppy werewolf, or something else entirely?
A full-on werewolf.
Hokey
No,
Deuce.
this only makes me think of Twilight now. I know this predates it by a long shot, but it's,
By like a decade.
like I said, by a long shot.
It leaves you the question, though. Did they supposedly get their idea from this?
I would
Oh,
imagine
you
so.
can't tell me that Twilight isn't ripped off wholesale from Buffy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
watered down to...
it's a watered down,
nothing.
crappy version,
Yeah.
but it's fucking almost. There's huge things that are the same.
Okay, now I have a question. Does Buffy fall in love with a werewolf?
No,
Okay, good. That's all I need to know.
but she will fall in love with another vampire.
Well, thank goodness she
She's
isn't
not
a
good
Bella.
at this, is she?
Well, thank
Well-
goodness she isn't a Bella and just bounces from one horror monster to another horror monster.
We're going to talk about, in an upcoming episode at some point, the difference between Buffy and Bella.
Oh boy.
Because I've got probably 20 minutes on that.
I think just about everyone and their grandma does.
Uh-huh.
So, I think that's going to be it for this week. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.
And if you thought this was bad, just wait until we get some passion.
No.